My beloved child, among the multitudes across this earth, while the eyes of the powerful remain fixated on what the world deems great fame, wealth, position, there is one possessing authority and influence before whom all creation must bow, who has stopped and turned his gaze upon you. Not because you hold in your hands something esteemed by men, not because you possess treasures or intellects that dazzle the world, but because they have seen in you something they cannot purchase, cannot control, cannot comprehend with their minds, a sacred light I placed within your spirit before the dawn of creation. They look upon you and cannot explain why your weakness radiates a strength that unsettles them, why the simplicity in your eyes carries a peace that disturbs their restless souls. All their lives they have pursued what they believed was greatness, control, political power, riches vast as mountains and oceans, and they thought they had it all. But in a silent moment when they look upon you, they become confused. For they see in you something money cannot buy, a power not born of thrones, a value not granted by education or kingdoms, but from me, the one who called you from the womb, anointed you with my spirit, and made you a temple for what is eternal. My child, I did not just now begin to see your worth. Before you could speak, before the world gave you a name, I had already called you by name in eternity. I do not look at you as the world does with scorecards, appearances, degrees, or salaries. I see your heart, the hidden flame that the world overlooks but causes the powers of darkness to tremble. I know that sometimes you question yourself, thinking you are too small in a world too vast. But I say to you, it is precisely because of that smallness that I can do something great. It is your humility that allows the light within you to not reflect you, but to reflect me. And that very light, not of this world, not for sale, not extinguishable, has shaken even the mighty. They do not understand, for they are accustomed to controlling everything, to manipulating others, to receiving applause and fear. But they cannot control the peace in your eyes. They cannot manipulate the faith within you. They cannot buy the sacred love you have for me, a love born not out of duty but out of relationship, out of life, out of trust in a God far beyond human comprehension. I want you to know their attention is not a threat, but a confirmation that the light within you is real, powerful, and so disruptive that even those thought to be immovable are stirred. I have not called you to be famous. I have called you to be salt and light, not for applause, but for transformation. You are noticed not because you strive to impress, but because you live authentically. And that authenticity, that purity, that which does not belong to this world, is precisely what causes the world to tremble. Perhaps they will attempt to approach you, manipulate, entrap, or even try to extinguish what you carry. But do not be afraid, for what is within you is greater than what is in the world. I dwell in you. And whoever touches you touches the apple of my eye. Do not panic when the eyes of power turn toward you. Let my peace steady your heart. Know that every gaze is under my permission. Nothing escapes the authority of my love. These powerful ones are not here to determine your destiny. They are the evidence of your destiny. For if the light in you were not radiant, they would not notice. If you did not carry heavenly power, they would not be confused. If you were just ordinary, they would not secretly observe, analyze, and fear what they cannot touch. So, my child, walk forward with confidence, not with arrogance, but with conviction, not in fear, but in gratitude. Simply be who you are, the one who is loved, called, and given light from the Father. And if the whole world turns its gaze toward you, then let your eyes remain fixed on me. For the only gaze that anchors you is not from men, but from the Father, the one who engraved your name on the palm of his hand, the one who never leaves your side, and the one who is using you to illuminate a generation lost in the darkness. Of power, without love, fame, without truth, wealth, without hope. You are light in the night. You are a seed sown into the heart of the world. And your presence, though silent, is shaking thrones built without true foundations. Remember this, you are not invisible. You are not forgotten. And the light within you is not from you, it is from me, and it will never be extinguished. For I am your Father, and you are my beloved child before the dawn of time, now and forevermore. My beloved child, the moment you are approaching is not a random stop along your journey. This is the turning point your soul has quietly yearned for. It is an unveiling, an awakening, a dawn breaking after long, dark nights. You have sensed something unnamed, a hollow space nothing in this world could fill. And now, as truth draws near, as hidden things begin to surface, as the veil of deception slowly falls away, this is the season. You are entering a territory I prepared for you long before you knew pain and betrayal. But it is also now, my child, that the enemy roars the loudest, because it knows if you truly receive what I am revealing, every chain it ever used to bind you will shatter. If you grasp the truth of who you are, that you are chosen, loved, anointed, and destined with a purpose beyond all lies, then the kingdom of darkness will tremble. My child, there are those who built their entire world upon your misconceptions. They told you that you are ordinary, unworthy, always lacking. They profited from your silence, from your self-erasing humility, from you forgetting how wonderfully and gloriously you were created by me. But as truth rises from the depths of your soul, as my word takes root and begins to bloom within you, they become afraid. Because once you know who you are in me, no lie has any power over you. And because of that, you have become a target for distortion, for false narratives, for noise designed only to confuse you. I want you to hear this in the quiet of your spirit. Do not let those deceptive sounds steer you off course. They are not truth. They are the desperate echoes of one clinging to the final illusion of control. Your enemy, the one who is also mine, knows that its time is ending. It knows that an awakened soul is an unquenchable fire, a lamp set high to give light to many, and you are that lamp. You are living proof of the unshakable love of the Father. You are the testimony of grace that transcends failure, of a calling that defies human logic. So, my child, be alert. Stand firm when the winds of doubt blow. Know that questions are not meant to weaken you, but to draw you deeper into truth. Every voice that rejects you will become a stepping stone toward confirmation that you are moving closer to what I have destined. Every distortion is merely the reaction of fear that light will expose what has been hidden too long. And the greatest threat to darkness is not a shout, but a person who begins to believe in the light. A person like you. I do not promise that this journey will be without trials, but I promise you will not walk it alone. When the enemy hurls arrows through words, assumptions, and false memories, I am your shield. When your mind grows weary from discerning what is true, return to the quiet place where my voice resides, gentle, unhurried, but clearer than all else. That voice will remind you that you are loved, not because you are good enough, but because I am love. That you are chosen not because you stand out, but because I called you out of darkness to walk in my marvelous light. This is the time when you must choose. Will you trust the sacred whisper of your Father, or heed the panicked screams of the enemy? You do not need to argue or defend yourself with words. You need only to stand still and let truth speak. For truth does not need to shout, it only needs to be lived. And once you live out the identity I have given you, the enemy will have nothing left to hold on to. Let your faith rest not on the words of others, but on the rock, my word. That word does not change, does not fade, and cannot be overshadowed by any scheme. My beloved child, this is not merely a moment in the timeline of your life. This is the doorway into a divine destiny, and you are not alone. With every step you take, my hand is upholding you. With every assault of doubt, my angels are surrounding you with protection. Each time you feel weak, that is when my power becomes stronger than ever within you. Do not fear when truth shakes others, because truth never comes to appease, but to liberate those who truly long for freedom. So, my child, keep walking. Do not let your mind be clouded by whispers. Do not let your heart tremble at opposition. Truth has drawn near, and when you embrace it, all of heaven rejoices. For one who rejects the darkness, who casts away the lies and chooses to live in truth, is one I will use to write a new chapter for many souls still waiting. You are the answer to a generation longing for the light. And I, your Father, will never let you fall into the hands of darkness, for you are the light I have lit, and it shall not be extinguished. My beloved child, in a world overwhelmed with noise and veiled in shadows, I call you to remain steadfast on the path of truth. For the enemy of your soul never rests. He does not arrive with a frightening face or a form easy to recognize, but he comes in sweet whispers, in half-truths, in distorted emotions, and in things that seem harmless but quietly erode your faith. He is cunning, He knows the wounds of your past. He understands your hidden longings, and he lurks where you least expect. He doesn't need to drag you far away from me in one moment. He only needs you to doubt a little, to drift a little, and then step by step you would slowly depart from the light I've given. My child, do not underestimate the craftiness of deception. Do not let words that sound right or actions that seem good blur the discernment I have planted in your spirit. I have given you spiritual eyes to see what the world cannot. I've placed within your soul a sense, a holy warning, so that when darkness draws near, your heart will stir like a bell ringing in alert. That unease you feel, that weariness of mind, the restless nights, and those moments when something feels wrong, these are not random. That is me, your Father, gently knocking on the door of your heart, whispering in the silence within you. My child, be awake. Do not ignore these subtle signs. Do not let them be drowned out by busyness, by rationalizing, or by the fear of seeming weak. Truth is not always comfortable. Sometimes it forces you to face what you didn't want to see, to let go of what you once thought was right, to turn away from the path many others are walking. But truth, once embraced, will set you free. And I want you to live in that freedom, not trapped in golden cages built by lies. I know there are moments when you wonder whether these feelings come from me or are just your own fears. But reflect carefully. If something truly comes from me, it will bring peace, light, and life. But if it causes anxiety, confusion, and demands you to compromise your values and purity just to continue, then it is not from me. I never lead you down dark corridors to keep you in ambiguity. I lead you into the light, though. Sometimes that light may sting your eyes because it is too real, too clear. But through it, you will discern what is false, what is genuine, what is my voice, and what is the enemy's mimicry. This is a pivotal moment, a time you cannot turn away from, cannot ignore. This is the hour when your spiritual awareness will determine the course of your journey ahead. You have prayed for years for guidance, for change, for a new door to open, and now that I am revealing, do not miss it. Do not wait for a sign in the sky when your own heart is already echoing a heavenly bell. The tension you feel now is the signal not to collapse, but to pause and listen. The unspoken confusion is the first step that leads you to ask me, Father, is this the path you want me to walk? And my dear child, I will not disappoint you. I am not silent when you seek me sincerely. I am your Father who always answers with love, with true peace, and with unmistakable direction. Your destiny is not a random sequence swayed by circumstance. It is a song I composed for you before time began, and every right decision you make today adds to its melody. Revelation is coming not just to show you what is wrong, but to open what is right, what truly belongs to you. I do not come to confuse you. I come so you can clearly see the path of life and the cliff's edge. And when you see it, be brave and step forward. Do not fear being left behind. Do not fear losing anything. For if you lose something in obedience to my voice, it was never truly yours. And on the other hand, what I have destined for you will always find you when you live in truth. I call you not to frighten you, but to lead you into the light. Not to make you doubt yourself, but to help you trust the sacred voice within the place where I have always whispered. So, my beloved, rise in alertness. Stand firm in the spiritual impression I have placed in you. Let no one make you doubt my voice through worldly wisdom. Let not the fear of loneliness drive you into the crowd. Follow the light even if it leads you through narrow ways, for there you will find life. And I will be there waiting, guiding, and writing with you the next chapter of a soul who dared to choose truth over illusion. You are a child of light, the one I love and have called. Live worthy of that light, because all of heaven is watching and applauding as you walk in the brightness I have destined for you. My beloved child, now is the time, not someday in the vague future, not when you feel ready, not when everything calms down, but right now, in this sacred moment, beating within your chest, knocking gently at the door of your soul. This is the hour I am calling you to listen. Not with ears overwhelmed by worldly noise, but with the depth of your soul where my voice has always whispered, always waited to be recognized. You may have traveled far, tasted both joy and bitterness, felt strong at times and fragile at others. But wherever you are, no matter how distant you feel, I am still here, still unchanging, still loving you with a love that is unconditional and boundless. My child, this is the time to awaken. Not because I want to confuse you or place more weight upon your shoulders, but because I see something precious within you that even you sometimes forget. I see the light dimmed by worries, the dreams once cherished, now buried under doubt, the sacred life in you waiting to be awakened. You were not born to live quietly under the dust of passing days, but to shine like a star in the night sky. But for that to happen, you must awaken not only to the world around you, but to the truth that is calling from within. Now is the time to open your heart, not just slightly, but fully, to receive the message prepared for you long before you learned to speak, before you knew how to pray, even before you were born into this world. This is not a gentle invitation that can wait a little longer. This is not a note to be set aside for more urgent things. This is my word, a word that has crossed time, traveled through countless dreams, and now stands at the door of your heart, pleading, yet loving, powerful, yet tender, saying, "My child, hear me. I know the world has wearied you. There have been too many voices, too many promises, too many expectations that have blurred the line between what is real and what is false. But what is being revealed to you now is unlike anything you've ever heard. It is not an idea, not a doctrine, not an imposed mold. It is a living truth that has always been there, ever present like the sun behind the thick fog. It is not new, but for you, it might be a new beginning. It is a call home, a light piercing into the deepest place of your spirit, a place no words have ever touched. And you can only recognize it when you are willing to be cleansed of all distractions, the noises that drown out, my voice, the wounds that make you doubt, my love, the anxieties that make you rush through life and forget to live fully. I know it's not easy. I don't ask you to be perfect before you hear me. I don't wait until you're blameless to reveal my truth. It is precisely when you are still unsure, when your heart is still tangled, when you wonder if you're even worthy to hear my voice, that I speak more clearly than ever. I choose you not because you are strong, but because I love you. And this love is not just to comfort you, but to free you, to help you see what lies beyond all you've ever imagined. Truth does not always come in blazing light. Sometimes it comes as a gentle breeze, a subtle touch within the soul. But when you truly listen, it will slowly unfold a whole new horizon. My child, the time has come not because you are fully prepared, but because now I am moving. I am revealing, I am calling, I am awakening something profoundly sacred within you. You have asked me why your life has had such bewildering turns, why you feel empty even when everything seems fine, why you still hunger for something deeper, more real. And this is the answer. Revelation is coming. Not to overwhelm you, but to awaken you. Not to turn you into someone else, but to return you to who you truly are, a child made in my image, carrying a mission and a love that cannot be shaken. So my child, slow down. Be still. Let my voice saturate every empty space in your soul. This is not just a sacred moment, it is a turning point for your whole life. Do not delay. Do not hesitate. Do not let this truth pass you by like a fleeting wind. Hold it. Carve it into your heart. Live in it. And then you will see everything that was once blurry will become clear. Everything that once frightened you will dissolve in the light of love. I am here watching you, not with judgment, but with hope. And I believe you will listen, you will open your heart, you will receive, and you will step into the path that leads to true life, true peace and love that never ends. This is your moment. Step into it. I am waiting. My beloved child, it is time for you to understand that your true worth is not found in the things the eyes of the world usually admire. It is not in your appearance, not in your reputation or your past, not in your status or the relationships you may have once held. Those are but temporary coverings, easily faded by time. But there is one thing that even the powerful, even those who seem to hold all the answers, cannot comprehend, that is the sacred light alive within you. They cannot articulate it with words, but they can sense without question that something in you surpasses logic and ordinary experience. They sense a presence that is not of this world, a subtle yet mighty energy that unexpectedly stirs their hearts, though they do not understand why. My child, that does not come from you, but from me, the one who chose you, the one who placed the light of heaven within your soul from the beginning. Since you were young, I breathed a spiritual breath into you, a flame that cannot be extinguished. Though life may have taken you through shadowed valleys, though you may have thought you lost that light, The truth is, it never went out. It has only been waiting for the appointed time to ignite, and that time is now. Those who observe you, who may have seen the world, who have studied countless philosophies, who hold wealth in their hands, find themselves feeling small, confused, even uneasy in your presence. Not because you are better than they are, but because they recognize in you something they cannot control, cannot own, cannot define using the language of the world. That light unsettles them because it comes from a source they cannot grasp. It is my presence within you, a presence both humble and radiant, gentle and fierce, dissolving every falsehood it encounters. I have set you as a lamp on a hill, not to boast, but to illuminate. And that light itself is now challenging what the world once believed to be true. It causes them to pause, to question, to examine themselves. You do not need to strive to be seen, because your light does not come from striving, it comes from abiding. When you walk in your calling with a pure heart and an unfeigned love, then and there the energy within you spreads without introduction. It is the spiritual fragrance of heaven that souls yearning for truth can perceive, even those who have never believed in me. So, my dear one, do not underestimate the sacred influence you carry. Do not let the enemy deceive you into thinking you are invisible or insignificant. You are not invisible. The world may not know your name, but heaven has inscribed you in the book of life. Your name is engraved on the palm of my hand, and the light you bear is part of a divine plan I am unfolding in a wandering world. Their awe is not stirred by eloquence, but by something in you that awakens the sacred within them, the part they had long forgotten or never dared to face. They may deny it, they may try to explain it away through science or psychology, but in the end they will have to admit what they feel in your presence is real, alive, and holy, and it compels them to search for it for themselves. So walk, my beloved, in peace and assurance. Continue to shine, not by trying to become someone else, but by simply being you, the child I love, have chosen and have anointed. When you live in truth, in mercy, and in simplicity, the light in you becomes an unspoken invitation to wandering hearts searching for meaning. And you will see some who once doubted you will return to ask about the energy you carry. Some who once dismissed the sacred will slowly open their hearts to receive, not because you convinced them, but because my presence in you did the convincing. You are an instrument in my hands. You don't need to be perfect, only faithful. You don't need to shine by the standards of this world, only to keep my true flame burning within. When the light you carry is real, it breaks through the barriers of prejudice. It penetrates the shells of logic, and it reaches the deepest part of the human soul. And there, in that sacred place, lives will be transformed. So, my precious one, keep walking. Let the light I placed within you continue to expand. Believe that even when no one says it aloud, their souls are being stirred. And one day the very light you carry will be the key that unlocks the door of salvation for someone who has been waiting to glimpse heaven through your life. I am always here, and I rejoice that you have not allowed that light to be extinguished. Keep it burning, because the most sacred part of you is already changing the world bit by bit in ways you never imagined. My beloved child, you shine not because of anything that can be bought or imitated, but because of something rare and sacred that only you carry. It is that which stirs hearts, commands reverence, and draws others toward you with a force beyond comprehension. And yet this drawing is not rooted in curiosity or admiration alone, it is revelation. They have touched something they were never meant to see, a truth hidden deep in the spiritual realm, and that encounter has forever altered the way they perceive you. They begin to see, with awakened eyes, perceiving in you what was once veiled. My child, there are things within you that cannot be hidden. No matter how simple you choose to live, no matter how much you long to blend into the crowd or quietly dwell in your own world, the light I placed within you refuses to be buried. Not because you strive to stand out, nor because you seek attention, but because you carry something eternal that nothing on this earth can replicate or purchase. It is sacred, a divine spark sown into your spirit when I formed you with my own loving hands, and that, my child, is what sets you apart, a quiet yet profound distinction, a fierce and humble brilliance that needs no announcement. When others see you, they may first notice your gentleness, your humility, your unassuming presence. But the longer they remain near, the more they begin to feel a strange and holy magnetism, like a spiritual current, like a fragrance their soul never encountered before. And in that moment, a part of them awakens. They cannot explain it, they cannot name it, but they know they are standing before something deeper than words. It is not the beauty you wear, not the intelligence or talent you possess. It is the presence of something not of this world. A holy truth they unknowingly brush against as they look into your eyes, and it shakes them not with fear but with a divine pause. Suddenly, all that they have believed in, the standards, the values, the pursuits they've built their lives upon, begin to tremble when met with the silent strength you carry. Because in you they see not merely a person but a fragment of truth. A truth the world has tried to bury beneath noise, vanity, and polished facades. And when that truth surfaces, it echoes through their soul, shaking the places they had long forgotten. My beloved, do not be surprised when their eyes begin to change as they look at you. Do not be confused when they begin asking deeper questions, or sit in silence with eyes filled with wonder. It is not trivial curiosity. It is the journey of recognizing my presence in you. Some will admire it. Some will retreat. Others will resist, not because you are wrong, but because the truth you carry makes it impossible for them to continue living as they did. They see in you something they were taught to doubt, that holiness, peace, and divine presence are far away, unreachable amid the chaos of life. But you, my child, are the living proof that it is real, that it is here alive, moving and calling. That is why they begin to look at you differently. They stop seeing you as ordinary and begin to see you as a mirror of something they've long searched for but never named, not because you've done anything grand, but because you are. You are a child who lives in light, who walks in authentic love, who believes with unshakable faith. And in that authenticity you need not speak much, your very presence speaks volumes. It reaches into the hidden places of others' hearts, where no doctrine or philosophy could ever reach. It is the power of divine truth that I placed in you. My child, this is not to make you proud, but to remind you of who you are. You are not called to live by man's standards, but by my will. You were chosen not because you excelled, but because you surrendered. You shine not because you reached upward, but because you bowed low so I could be lifted high. And in that simplicity, I, your Father, have done what no one expected. I have used you, a fragile vessel of clay, to carry eternal light. So, my beloved, continue to live in that light. Do not fear when others look at you with surprise, or when you feel different in the midst of the crowd. You are not set apart to be isolated, you are consecrated for a higher purpose. Let them keep seeing me in you. Let that sacred flame continue to burn, to shine, to warm, even in the smallest acts of everyday love. Because in every glance, every word, every genuine gesture, you are revealing the presence of a God no one can deny once they've encountered. I rejoice that you do not hide your light beneath a basket, that you do not live to please men but to reflect heaven. And I promise you, what you carry will not only touch hearts, but change destinies in ways you cannot yet imagine. Hold firm, my child. Through you a generation will be stirred. For you are not just one who carries the light, you are the flame I lit to never be extinguished. My beloved, there are moments in life that are not merely transitions of time, but turning points of destiny. And you are standing in such a moment now where the old fades away, and the new and sacred is being birthed within you. This is no ordinary change, no random event. It is a divine appointment, a heavenly exchange predetermined in my eternal design. What is coming will change everything, not just your outer circumstances, but your inner being, your thinking, your vision of the world, and the world's vision of you. But to enter it, you must be ready. You cannot carry old baggage into a new journey. You cannot cling to fears, doubts, and old limitations and expect supernatural results. You must release not because you are strong, but because you trust me. This transformation will not come with noise. It will come quietly but with power, not by human strength but by my Spirit. But it will require one thing from you, a willing heart. You cannot walk into greatness while still looking behind, still worrying what others think, still hesitating before the call echoing within. Do not turn back in fear. Do not let anxiety paralyze your faith. Do not let uncertainty cause you to refuse the true life I am offering. Remember, you were chosen not because you are flawless, but because my love for you is. You were set apart not for ease, but for eternal significance. You were called not to blend in, but to walk the narrow path that leads to glory. and with this calling comes a sacred responsibility. This is not a journey of fleeting emotions. This is a path that demands perseverance, faithfulness, and courage to stand when all else seems to rise against you. The revelation you will carry will not be light, it will be deep, and it will shake everything you once knew. It will ask you to lay down what you once held dear and step outside the boundaries of comfort. And with that revelation will come great trials, not to break you, but to refine your faith, to forge your spirit, to make you a vessel worthy of the greater work I am preparing. Not everyone will understand this. Not everyone will applaud your obedience. There will be doubters, critics, and skeptical eyes. You may be misunderstood, even isolated, but never forget, you are not walking alone. I go before you, I walk beside you, I will shield you from every enemy. You are not called to please everyone, you are called to please the one who formed you and authored your life. And those voices that try to draw you from the sacred path, no matter how familiar, must be weighed against my voice. Learn to discern what leads you to light and what leads you into the shadow of fear and compromise. Do not be alarmed when you find yourself standing in a land that feels unstable. Do not tremble when all that once felt familiar begins to shake. It is not a sign of failure, it is the sign of a new season. And new seasons never come through silence and routine, they come with a stirring of trial, of calling, of movement. Put on the armor of trust, take up the sword of my word, and step forward with courage. You do not need to know everything ahead, only that I am holding your hand. What is coming is not just for you, but through you for those around you. When you stand with boldness, others will find their light. When you embrace your calling, you will blaze a trail for those searching for truth. Never underestimate the power of one who obeys. Never think yourself too small to change anything. You only need to step, I will move. And when everything shifts, when positions change, when injustice is overturned, when light is restored to forgotten places, you will know I did not choose you merely to survive, but to bring transformation. Not just to live, but to live as one who carries my presence where it is most needed. My beloved, prepare your heart, clear the cluttered places to make room for the new. Let go of what I am asking you to release. Be brave enough to empty your hands so you can receive. A new season is coming, and it is knocking at the door of your heart. Open it, not with hesitation, not with fear, but with faith, with boldness, with unwavering love. I am moving. Destiny is shifting. And you, my child, are part of that divine turning. Step into it with trust, with courage, with a love that never fails. I await you on the other side of obedience. Hold on to your faith, my child. Walk with gratitude, never with pride, never with fear. Remember that you are the vessel through which my light shines, the doorway through which my grace reaches those who have never believed, never understood, but who are now beginning to seek. Destiny is unfolding not with thunder, but through quiet obedience. And you, my beloved child, are the living witness of a truth. No one can deny that I am still at work, still calling, still choosing the lowly things of this world to shame the lofty, and still using tender souls like yours to stir even the hardest hearts. So go forth, my precious one. For what I am about to do is not merely a change in your circumstances, but a revelation of my glory through your very life, so that many will come to recognize, to trust, and to be saved by the light they see reflected through you. You were not chosen just to survive, but to shine. And now that light has begun to reach places once thought unreachable. Be ready, for a new season is approaching, and you are the first living testimony of that unveiling. My beloved child, this is not merely a message for today. It is a trumpet sounding across the days ahead, a beacon of light piercing your spirit in a world shaken by chaos. Know this, I never speak carelessly. Every word that leaves my mouth carries urgency, sacred meaning, and a divine mission. For you are living in a pivotal moment where every decision, every beat of your faith has the power to open new destinies, not only for you, but for those divinely connected to you in my plan. I call you to be awake, not to live in fear, but to live in awareness that I am doing something new. I am on the move, I am opening doors no one can shut. Devote yourself to prayer, my child, for in sincere communion you will hear the gentle whisper of my voice. Don't wait until your heart is in turmoil to seek me. Learn to find me, in the ordinary, in the morning birdsong, in the silence between demands. even in the quiet tears that fall unseen. I am the God who is near, not distant, like the wandering thoughts that once convinced you otherwise. When you seek me with all your heart, I will reveal to you great and hidden things, mysteries kept for you and reserved for such a time as this. I will make your path straight, not by removing every obstacle, but by giving you wisdom, strength, and peace that surpasses all understanding, even along the rugged road. Child, know that I am moving. I am opening doors no one can shut, doors of opportunity. You never imagined connections you did not seek, but that I, myself, have orchestrated. I am leading you into new lands, not only physically but spiritually, in your calling and in your sphere of influence. I am placing you among those whose hearts beat in harmony with the divine rhythm within you. At the same time, I am also removing gently but with purpose relationships, circumstances, even habits that no longer align with the mission I've entrusted to you. Don't cling to what I am stripping away. Don't mourn the familiar that has now become a barrier to the fullness I've prepared for you. You are stepping into a new harvest season, a time of abundance, of fulfillment, not just in the material but in the spiritual. The seeds you sowed in secret with tears will bloom in joy. The sacrifices that seemed forgotten will be repaid with doors of opportunity, provision, and heavenly support. Trust in me, not because you understand everything, but because I am the faithful one, the promise keeper, the one who holds every moment in his sovereign hands. And when you believe, you will see. You will witness miracles before your very eyes, not only extraordinary events, but profound transformations of the human heart. Things once thought unchangeable, suddenly turned around by divine intervention. What seemed closed will be opened. Doors that once slammed shut in your face will swing wide as if they had never been sealed. You will see me in the small things, in the eyes of one who finds healing in the comfort that arises in pain, in an encounter that seems random, but is actually heaven's appointment. So be at peace, my beloved. Let not anxiety shake your faith. Do not let your current circumstances cloud your vision of me. Nothing that is happening to you is off course. Even if everything feels tangled, know that you are wrapped in the very palms of my hands. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. No scheme of the enemy shall overcome the divine shield I've placed around you. The enemy may lurk, may roar like a lion, but he cannot touch you when you stand firm under the shadow of the Almighty. My angels go before you, not just to guard you, but to prepare the way. They dismantle invisible barriers you do not even see. They stand at treacherous turns to hold steady the path I have ordained for you. They open ways where there were once dead ends, despair, and long-held disappointment. You are not alone. You have never been abandoned. And in every step ahead you will see clearly this truth, that I have always been working, not so you would merely exist, but that you would live fully, powerfully, and divinely. Remember this, my child, I am not speaking to you only for today, but I am preparing your spirit for the days to come. Do not fear change. Do not hesitate to step out of the familiar. Follow the light I am placing before your feet. And when you obey, when you place your full trust in me, you will see the skies respond, heaven's gates open wide, and you yourself will be the living proof that I am the Lord your God, faithful, loving, and forever true to my promises. I love you. Amen. As a child of God, He is always beside you in every moment, constantly reminding you to live in faith and in His love. Make sure to follow and turn on notifications so you won't miss the words I speak from the heights of heaven. Amen.